What is going on, Pipsicles? Today's a wonderful day in LA. I'm Alejandro, and let's talk about cars, yo. Hit it, Pedro! Wow, Pedro, if you keep hitting it that hard, you know the deal. Welcome back to the show, guys. For those of you who are new here, there's a lot of new people, so I always now have to say this. Thank you so very much for joining us in the same place. I really appreciate you and your time. This is a show where we talk about cars, and that's all we do. Just a little bit of opinions, a little bit of things that you'll learn about cars, and maybe some more. So with that said, let's get this party started with the first story of the day, which is something that makes me and got me really excited, is the new Rolls-Royce SUV. Holy shit, it's happening, guys. We've seen the spy shots. They finally leaked, and you can't really tell a lot from the spy shots. Number one, apparently this is going to be called the Project Cullinan. Project Cullinan. Cullinan. Something like that. So that's doesn't matter because that's not going to be the name of the car either way, but that's what they're referring to right now. That's its code name. A couple things about the car that should be obvious, and some of them are awesome. Number one, it's going to have suicide doors. That's right, they're going to have the doors that open through the middle, like every other Rolls-Royce that's a four-door, but that's awesome because it's translating into an SUV, and I don't think I've seen that before. These guys are making the truck that Range Rover has been trying to make forever. They're going to come out with it, and it'll be that perfection. The smoothest ride in the world, perfect ride height with all the luxuries in the world, and that delicious suspension that Rolls-Royce has. You guys know I'm 120 million% in. I need to go put my deposit. I'm an idiot, I haven't done it. I need one of those so bad. Another awesome thing about the design that they were telling me is, if you're standing on the front of the truck and you want to put your arm on top of while I'm doing the turn, if you want to rest your arm on the hood of the car, it should be like about this height for someone that's standing up, and I'm 5'11", guys. That's awesome! It's gonna be the tallest with the baddest, meanest grill you've ever seen. So, you know, design-wise, Rolls-Royce does something that nobody else can, which is that incredible, big, huge design with an incredible presence. When a Rolls comes over and you see it in front of you, it's imposing as shit. And the final thing before I let that go is, everyone's very excited about it and everyone's asking for release dates. We're most likely 2 years out for that truck. So I'm gonna have to wait 2 years before I get it. I'm still gonna put my deposit, and hopefully the guys at Rolls will call me and say, "Hey, Alejandro, you wanna go drive this thing before it comes out?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I guess, yeah, I'm free." Let me jump into something that's extremely exciting and more of a what the fuck is this real type of thing. I don't know if you guys read about this, but the AMG GTR did a lap around the ring by a company that measured also the 918. So the AMG GTR lapped the ring at around 7 minutes and 10 seconds, 0.9. Which is incredibly impressive, but some people are like, so what? The 918 and the SV did it in, under 7. Yeah, but the company that measured the 918, because the 918 actually had people come in and measure them, unlike others that shall remain nameless, Lamborghini! I just wanted to say that. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying. So what's impressive is that the 918 actually came 2 seconds behind the AMG GTR on that contest within the same measuring company, if that makes any sense. That is really fucking impressive, and that is now making me wonder, is this thing really quicker than a 918? I think we're at about that time when something's about to come out that should be all the Holy Trinity, just like when the 458 came out and it beat the Enzo and all that stuff. But now I think it's for real. I think that AMG GTR has a very good chance. But I'm not going to take your word for it. I'm actually going to go and test it out and see what the numbers really are. So when it comes out, I'm very excited about that. I'm excited that Mercedes is really focusing so hard on the track focus weapons, because those cars are legends. Those cars are legends. I had an SLS Black Series and I loved it so much. From one new car that's about to come out to another one, let's jump into the P14 by McLaren. The P14 by McLaren is the substitute to the line of the 650. And we'll get to this in a second because I want to talk to you guys about the lineup of McLaren. I finally understand it. It took me forever, but now I got it. The P14 is the car that was rumored to come out years and years ago, and it's been in development for a while. And the reason why is, before they announced the LT, we already knew about the P14. And one thing that everyone knew about the P14 is that it was way quicker than a P1. Way quicker. It was so fast, in fact, that people that had a P1 made a humongous deal to McLaren corporate that knew about the car and said, "You cannot release this right now because it'll destroy the value of my car." everyone was very scared because McLaren was putting out cars every year, or still putting out cars every year, but now there's a structure there, which I see. Probably a year ago, I made a video called Why I Would Never Buy a McLaren, and was that I said I need to understand what McLaren is doing with their middle line, with like the 458, which is the 650S line, right? And now I get it. So now with the P14 coming out, that car's supposed to demolish everything and everyone out there. Do I believe it? From McLaren, I do. I actually really do. The only problem that the P14 is going to have the GT2 RS. Holy shit! The amount of cars that are coming out. It's not going to be a collector's item, but whoever buys one of those for sure is going to make some money because they always are slow to trickle into the US. With that said, let me tell you about the McLaren lineup, because now I think I understand it, and I think this is amazing, because on the verge of depreciation, I would say the LT is right there. I already sold my black LT. I lost like 35 grand on it. So you guys know and are aware of the market here. And I'm fine with that. I totally understand. You win some, you lose some, right? The reason why I want to talk about the McLaren market is because it's getting now exciting. Now that I understand it, now that I'm seeing it, now that I think we all do, but maybe we're not so actively conscious about it, if that makes any sense, is the 650S line is obviously the 458 line, right? The 488 line of Ferrari, the mid-engine car, the smaller one, whatever. Not the smallest, but the middle one. Now let me explain. The MP4 and the MP4 convertible were just, I want to say, a mistake. The 650S should be the car that's the line. The 650S is the 458. Let's think about those terms. 650S line, 458. The MP4 was the beginning of that line, but they just started and they regretted what they did with that. They didn't regret it, but they said we can do better. So they did. They made the 650S, and then they came out with the LT. The LT is just like the Speciale, except these are numbered, and there's 500 of them. And no one has realized that now with a new P14 coming out, everyone thinks that McLaren is just doing more to that line. No. That's a whole new model, homies. That's the 488, basically, as if the 675 or the 650S were the 458 platform. Does that make any sense? So now that I see the full-on, like mass-produced 650S, basically, in the MP4, which is the same, the limited editions, the LTs, which turn out to be incredible, and until today, quicker than at 488 on the track, which normally when the new Ferrari comes out should be quicker. And now when the new P14 comes out, I'm pretty sure every Ferrari owner is going to be like, well, hang on, that ass was fantastic, I'm sorry. You know, the P14 is going to come out, I bet every Ferrari owner is going to be, and he destroys everything else, it's going to be like, well, that's not fair, we got to wait until the next one comes out. And yeah, that's not going to happen. But now knowing this, that LT, that's a very special car. There's only 1,000 cars made, and then they make some special editions like 25 here and 25 there, which is 50 more cars. Wow. So they only made that amount of cars on the LT. It's a racing car. I understand a lot of people are like, well, it's not a naturally aspirated car, so how is it going to become a collectible? How do the GT2s become collectibles, the turbos from Porsche, right? Well, the same thing is going to happen to these McLarens. That's why I went out there and got myself a better spec than the one that I have, because I really do believe if you find the right ones, these cars are going to be legendary. Also, these were the last cars built under the current, well, the CEO of McLaren that got him there. So just think about that for a second. It becomes a very appealing thing. I love the LT. I love the way it drives, nothing else, like just the way it drives, and obviously the way it looks. So I had to upgrade my spec and get something better, which you'll very soon see. Last but not least, I want to talk about the new Audi technology. Guys, this is unreal. It's so stupid to some. I understand that there's nothing exciting about it, but to me it's amazing. So Audi's planning on putting a system in their cars. Actually, it's already in every car made past June 1st of 2016. And it's called the Audi's Traffic Light Information System. And what it does is it connects with the traffic lights. It knows, so whenever you hit a traffic light, a stoplight, like right now I'm about to hit, before I stop, it's gonna tell me how many more seconds are left on that light. And you guys tell me that you don't care when you're waiting at a red light, and I know you'll be lying, pieces of shit. So every time you get to a red light, you'll know, oh, this is not broken, even if it's taking forever, and you'll be able to tell when you're gonna go. I think that's gonna alleviate a lot of the uncertainty and the anxiety of traffic. I know it's crazy to say that, but it really generates some anxiety to people. And it's also obviously better because they're gonna connect it with the cars, to the stop-start with the engines. You're gonna be able to coordinate that way better, do it for autonomous driving, everything. I mean, just doing that is awesome, and they're testing it out in Vegas right now. So yeah, Audi, kudos to you, and thank you so very much for doing something that I should have came up with, or anyone else, but that's incredible that you guys are doing it. And with that said, guys, I'm gonna leave you with the question of the day. What do you think about that new Audi system? Will it relieve any of your anxiety, or not really? It's just something that you don't truly care about at all? Because again, it does give me anxiety to just be at a stoplight and just not knowing how long, if it's gonna turn or not, or when the red's going for too long. So anyways, guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I'm Alejandro, and I do not approve this message. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.